Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed, live from Los Angeles. I'm Alex Curry here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys, and happy Friday. How we doing?
Good morning, Skip Bayless. How you doing?
Why do you have that on?
Well, goat. Hold on. And then, baby goat. You know, I got baby goat, too. Oh, let me get that.
I got big goat, but baby goat ain't quite got horns yet. But after this playoff performance, he gonna grow him some horns, and he gonna be a big goat, too.
Wait a second, that's bighorn sheep over there.
No, there's a baby goat. There's a baby goat. Skip.
Which is it?
Skip. You know, I want
calling LeBron a bighorn sheep?
No, baby goat. A big goat.
I don't get
Skip,
it.
Every morning.
Wait. I got to get this straight.
Okay.
You lost yet another case of Diet Mountain Dew to me, and you're wearing the goat mask to celebrate losing to me?
It's kind of like the war, Skip. You know, you might lose Antietam, you might lose Gettysburg, but at the end of the day, you get someone that's a runner. Every morning you come out here, and every day
they didn't lose Gettysburg.
You tweet, Skip, but don't think I don't know. You be tweeting. Yeah. The Clippers would be up 2-1. Yeah. The Clippers would be up 3-1. I just want to remind the people. Yeah. That's what the Clippers did.
Did you eat at your own restaurant last night because it's for losers?
No. We won.
Right? You lost the bet. That's all that I care about. You lost the bet.
I'm going to get it back.
And by the way, you're wearing a goat mask, and your man went 1 for 4 in the fourth quarter? Is that goatish or ouchish?
19.
That's like ouch.
9 points. 9 points.
Wow.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Let's go to that. You got me.
Oh, Clippers show.
Yeah, they did. Say it with me. Say it. Didn't it?
I don't know. I can't remember. I got short-term memory. I'm like a cornerback. If you beat me, I just forget it.
Okay, quarterback.
Yep. Okay, here we go. Way to go.
All right, well, let's get to last night's game because Game 4 came down to the wire once again. LeBron and Anthony Davis combined for 60 points, just 10 short of Shannon's prediction, but they were able to secure the win and go up 3-1 in the series. The Lakers outscored Denver on second chance points 25-6. Thanks to their offensive rebounding down the stretch. So, Shannon, what is the biggest reason that the Lakers won?
Well, it's been basically the same thing in this series, Skip. Whoever 2 stars steps up, plays the best, thus that's the team that wins the game. And for the most part, the Lakers' 2 stars, LeBron and AD, have played better than Yoke and Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray was phenomenal last night, Skip. He made some shots last night, Skip. He ain't have no business making. He tried to be like Jordan. You remember how he came? I mean, he split the lane, hung up in the air. LeBron thought he was going to block it on one side, and somehow he able to kiss the English off the other side.
Posterize LeBron.
Don't do that, Skip. See, there you go. See? And then he comes with a running away from the basket, left-handed shot. He was hitting some.
That was an even better shot.
It was. I would concede that.
Yep.
But Skip, down the stretch, you talk about. See, this is where my man separates himself from all the other pretenders for his crown. He's willing to take the. Oh, Murray got it going. Don't worry about it. I got this. No help. I got it. When Jimmy Butler had it going, Giannis said, "Well, that's not what the coach asked me to do." When Jamal Murray got it going in 5, 6, and 7, nobody could cool him off. The 2 greatest wing defenders in the NBA since Scotty and Mike. And they couldn't do anything with him. We got a 35-year-old in year 17 with all the minutes on his legs, Skip.
Yep.
Kawhi Leonard is 29. Paul George is 30. Giannis is probably 25 or 26. They wanted no part of the other team's guy when he got it going.
Yep.
LeBron said, let me get this. Let me handle this. And did it. What did Jamal Murray do in the fourth quarter, Skip? Isn't that his money time? Isn't that the time that he rises and shines?
He has been.
Oh, okay, but with that guy said, no, I'm not going to let you do it. Before I go any further, Skip, old Frankie B be watching the show, doesn't he? Who started the game last night?
Who's been sitting over here saying the whole series, you got to have Dwight on Joker?
Started.
JaVale can't guard Joker.
Started.
Dwight's got edge. Dwight, he's got physicality.
He does.
He's got some nastiness to him. He's got savvy to him.
Crashing the boards. He's making Joker work on one end, and it looked like Joker was a little fatigued. And see, Skip, he's darting.
Got him in foul trouble.
He's on left side. Joker thinks he's on the left side. Next thing you know, he's on the right side, stripping the ball away. He's in and out. He's fainting him, doing a lot of different things. And Dwight's running up and down the court. And Joker's got to run up to try to keep him, because if he doesn't, Dwight's going to be at the rim dunking the ball home. So give Frank Vogel credit. Give Dwight. Say, Dwight, look, we need you to play no more shenanigans. You see how he played last night? Dwight can do that, Skip. He don't have to throw the ball. He don't have to all those antics, getting a jar and matching with the officials. Just go play basketball.
It was extremely crucial to the Lakers what he did last night.
And AD was sensational, Skip. He was sensational. I mean, the first half, it seemed like he couldn't miss. And even though, and people, you know what, Skip, and I went back and they had the game on. I was watching the game. The reason why AD can't get no rebounds, Skip, they taking the ball out the net. If they stop letting the Nuggets shoot 55%, they shooting 60%. How you get a rebound? You don't get a rebound when you take the ball out. Dwight Howard's getting rebounds, though. But give the Nuggets credit, Skip. The thing is with the Nuggets, there's a reason why they're the best in the third best in the clutch in the playoffs. You better execute. If you don't execute, they're going to make some unbelievable shots. They were making some unbelievable shots down the stretch, and the Lakers had to match that. And when they fouled them, Skip, we know the Lakers are not a good free throw shooting team. But down the stretch, AD and old Goat James, what do you do down the stretch in the free throw line, Skip? That's what we need. And we need a couple of timely shots. KCP hit a few. We got Rondo doing Rondo-ish things. Rondo hit a big three. He hit a mid-range jumper, Skip. Rondo has been phenomenal. And that's what they need. LeBron can go to the bench and get a couple of quality 5-6 minutes of rest. Probably normally like 3 or 4 at a given stretch. But he can get rest. They're playing Jamal Murray 45 minutes. They're playing Jeremy Grant. What Jeremy Grant played? 43 minutes. Those LeBron James is getting quality rest. Skip, that was a big-time win. That was a big-time win for the Lakers, and they needed that. They had to dig down. Now, the question is going to be moving forward, how bad is Dwight's ankle? Because it looked like he got it pretty good, Skip. He was hobbling a little bit. I mean, he had 10 points in the fourth quarter. He and LeBron combined for 19 of the 27. You know, he was hobbling, but Goat James said, hey, I want Jamal Murray. All I want to know is name the time you've seen other guys do that. Giannis turned it down. We saw Jimmy Buckets have it going in game 1, and Giannis wanted no parts of it. We saw what Jamal Murray did to Kawhi and Paul George in games 5, 6, and 7 in the fourth quarter. You saw what my guy did. You have to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, Goat James will provide one for you.
You sound like you've heard that before.
Hey, yo, you know your boy's supposed to have been a lawyer now.
That sounds like it's been read to you.
No. They ain't read it to me.
My turn. The 2 MVPs for the Lakers last night were not LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
Who were they?
They were Frankie Vogel and Rob Pelinka, who the day before this game put together a highlight or lowlight video of all the fouls that should have been called as LeBron drove the ball, and they sent it to the league office, and it worked. Message delivered, message received. Referees last night told, hey, let's look a little harder at this. Let's be a little more alert to fouls that should be called on LeBron. But it works both ways. You can also say be alert to fouls that shouldn't be called on LeBron when he is defending somebody else. So all of a sudden, the free throw line just tilted in favor of the Lakers. Am I right about that?
We got a few.
You shot 35. And to your credit, this is unusual for you except for AD. He's like a machine from the free throw line. 28 of 35. That will work. That's how you won the game. 28 of 35. I will give you this. LeBron made fourth quarter free throws. It just wasn't ever a pressure situation.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't where, it's do or die, LeBron. You got to make these 2 to tie it or win it. It never got to that point.
No, he had to keep.
He's okay until it gets to that point.
Keep the distance. We got to keep the distance.
Keep the distance. It's called front running. Okay, so the Lakers made 28 free throws, and the Nuggets. Oh, wait a second. They only shot 23 free throws. So you made 5 more than they shot. Was that not a huge difference in that game?
Yes.
Way to go, Frankie V. Way to go, Robbie P. Because they sent the correct video to the correct person in the league office, and somebody in the league office said, you know what? They're right, because we don't really want the Nuggets in the NBA Finals.
Oh, my goodness.
We want LeBron in the NBA Finals. I want LeBron in the NBA. Who doesn't want LeBron in the NBA Finals?
Well,
right?
so what's going on with the Heat? Because it sure looked better if it was the Lakers and the Celtics.
Well, I disagree with that.
No, Skip. Look, the Heat are great.
As long as you have LeBron, it doesn't matter. The Heat are a cuddly little underdog. But everybody's falling in love with the Heat and diving on their bandwagon.
Even you.
I think it's just okay. It'll be just fine. But again, Lakers will win it in 5.
There you go.
Like
nobody listens to you, Skip. Go ahead, finish your point.
Okay, so here we go. Here's the story of the night. It started with 2:29 left in the first half. Nuggets are hanging around, as Teddy KGB said in Rounders. And something happens to LeBron James, if we could see what Jamal did to him, because this is one of the all-time trick shots at the rim. Yeah. It looks like LeBron is going to posterize Jamal, and LeBron gets reversed. We see up and under, and all of a sudden, LeBron gets reverse posterized by Jamal. and LeBron is left just swiping at air, thinking he was going to have a big block on Jamal Murray, and he has nothing but air, and Jamal has nothing but net. And it was a stunner. It brought down Twitter, and it was LeBron got embarrassed. Yeah. Okay? So LeBron, highest IQ in basketball. I'm sure he sits and broods and steams in the halftime locker room. I gotta wipe that off my record, man. I gotta get even. So as he senses what's happening in the fourth quarter, it's a 3-point game, a 4-point game, a 5-point game. It's still teetering. Mm-hmm. He said with about 5.5 minutes left in the game, you know what? I got to take him. Mm-hmm. I got enough legs left. I got enough gas left in my tank. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take this kid. This kid had been fairly hot. He had 28. It wasn't like he was crazy Utah Jazz hot, but he was still making shots. Okay, so with 5:34 left, LeBron takes him for the first time, if we could start to see this. And the first thing he does is he bodies him up down the lane a little bit, and he fouls him. And I thought that was a foul, and Frankie V is trying to defend his man LeBron, hoping they can get the call, and he challenged it, and they lost. So here he comes back, and it's still their ball, and LeBron's up into him, and this is a bad idea, bad pass, and it was because LeBron was pushing on him, and now they go to the other end, and KCP just nails it. That was a huge shot. And then here we come back again to the other end. He drives on the King, and the King does a good job. It could have been a body foul. Right. Could have been. You could have gotten it called. It would have been a superstar call. Right. And you get a quick bunny at the other end on the break. And then here he comes again on LeBron. That was the best defense of the night. We come right back down the court, and Rondo is going to. This is a dagger. That was a big. Yeah, that was a big shot. At that point,
that was really a big shot. Yep.
7, I believe, and that was the end of that deal. Okay, so the point is, both those drives by Jamal Murray could have been called fouls. The first one for sure, but the second one, LeBron played great defense because he beat him to the punch. Mm-hmm. And remember, Jamal is 6'4". Your man is 6'9". Right. So if he can at least hang with him in quickness to the rim.
Just get to the point before you
get to the point. Mm-hmm. He's going to have a hard time shooting over you. And
correct.
You saw him. He was teetering off balance awkwardly. He had nowhere to go on either of those shots. If they'd called a foul on the first drive, maybe he goes and makes 2 free throws, and now you got a dicier game to try to deal with. Mm-hmm. But I am impressed. I will admit, LeBron sucked it up and said, I'm going to do this. And by the way, on that first turnover that Markieff got his hand on, that was because LeBron just jumped Jamal at the top of the circle, and Jamal sort of panicked for a second, like, really? You're going to guard me this hard?
After fighting over the screen in the corner.
That's what I'm saying. You're still here?
Right.
And he says, uh-oh, I got to bounce this to Joker, and it was a bad idea because there's too much traffic in there, and you get the quick bunny going the other way. It's the KCP 3, actually. Right. Okay, so the point is, I will give you all of the above. But here's the key stat of the whole night to me. This is the one you should hang your hat on.
Yes.
Jamal Murray has been crazy hot from the 3-point line against Utah, against the Clippers, and even against the Lakers in the first 3 games. Do you see your final stats?
Yeah, he was 0 for.
0 for what?
0 for 3.
He only took 3 threes, and he missed all 3, and one came late when the game had been decided, and he missed it badly.
He was 0 for 1. If I'm not mistaken, he was 0 for 1 in the fourth quarter.
Okay, but that was it. Yeah. It didn't matter.
Right.
And he missed it anyway. But he had only attempted 2 threes until the waning minutes. I'm going to remind everybody, so far through the playoffs, through the first 3 games of this series, Jamal Murray had made 8 clutch time 3-point shots. That's the last 5 minutes if the game's within 5. Correct. 8. that had tied Steph Curry from the 2016 playoff run, okay? So it's extraordinary what he was doing, and all of a sudden, the Lakers made it their point of attack. Don't let him get loose at the three-point line because he couldn't find one. He would hunt it, and he couldn't find it. And finally, he'd say, okay, I got to drive it, or I got to pull up. Okay? So you won the game because I'm going to show you. In the first 3 games, he was 9 of 22 from 3. That's 41%. Against Utah, he was 32 of 60 from 3. That's 53%. That's crazy. Silly numbers. And then against the Clippers, 21 of 48, which is 44%, which is still crazy. Okay? And you did that to him. And furthermore, look at what you did to Joker in the fourth quarter, would you? 0 for 4 in the fourth quarter. That's 2 straight fourth quarters in which Jokic has come up goose eggs. He scored 2 big zeros in 2 straight fourth quarters, in part because of Dwight, although Dwight didn't play in the fourth quarter last night.
Dwight took a lot of steam out of him early.
Took it out of it. Plus, he's in foul trouble, and he's off balance, and he's out of sync, and he had a couple of little tips in the fourth quarter.
Think about it, Skip. Dwight had 6 offensive rebounds. And he put it back, got an and one, dunked the ball home. And so that's what he's doing. We got 25 to 6 second chance points. They finally pounded, because the Lakers should never lose the rebounding battle. Not as big a team as they are. And they can play a multitude of ways. They can go Twin Towers and LeBron. And that is a big team.
What'd they have in game 3? 25?
They had 25 rebounds.
25 rebounds. Last night they had 41 to 33 for the Nuggets. That's what it should be every night.
Because remember, Skip, Portland, if I'm not mistaken, Houston out-rebounded them, I think, in game 1. Portland might out-rebounded in game 1. And that shouldn't happen when you have those 2 big guys plus LeBron. But, Skip, that was the difference. The difference was Dwight. Dwight Howard played a huge role. I believe he's going to start. Well, I don't believe. I know he's going to start again in Game 5. And he just has to play his head. He did a great job because he's forcing Jokic to use a lot of energy. On the flip side, Skip, they're doing the same thing to LeBron because he's guarding Michael Porter Jr. and Jeremy Grant. And Mike Malone is telling, you got to go at him. You got to make him work. And you look at Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant is going at him. Michael Porter Jr. is going at him because they got to take some of that sting out of him so he doesn't have it all on the offensive end. So he's playing 38 minutes, but he's having to play 38 minutes, having to sit in the chair on a couple of occasions also, Skip. Even when they put him in the zone and he's on the back line, he's running from corner to corner. So he's expending a lot of energy. Give him kudos for that. But Dwight Howard and Rondo played phenomenal last night. Skip, I just want to know one thing. Is Kuzma going to try to play any defense? I'm talking about like any. Okay, Skip, just a little. Will he just if the guy run by and pinch him, will he do that? Will he try to stick his foot out and trip him or something?
I got a better question. Does it really matter whether he plays any defense?
Yeah, Skip. He's giving MJP, he's giving Michael Porter Jr. what? Skip, how many times you going to run by the guy pump fakes you, you run by him, and he nails a 3? How about run him off the 3? That's what they was doing to Jamal Murray. Run at him. So he runs off the 3, and if he hits a 2, okay. LeBron was just like, I can't believe this Joker. He did it twice, giving a medal of 2 minutes.
So think of what's happened. In a year's span, we went from Kuzma at Memphis shoving LeBron out to guard a 3-point shooter to Kuzma doesn't play any defense, and LeBron is locking down Jamal Murray to end the game. Okay? That's what's happened. But if that's the worst of your problems, I think those are good problems to have. Because the truth is, Dwight Howard is a former Defensive Player of the Year.
3 times.
He played like it last night. And Rondo has a ring, and he played like it last night. And there is this term called playoff Rondo. And he made yet another appearance last night and changed the game for a crucial stretch. Denver doesn't have a Dwight and does not have a Rondo. And by the way, KCP just keeps making big shot after big shot.
He does.
And so if you can hold Jeremy Grant down to 17 and Michael Porter Jr. down to 13, you're going to win because your 2 stars weren't better than your 2 stars.
Can we get Danny Green to give us a little more than 3?
You're complaining about immaterial developments that will not matter. This is going to be over in 5 games. We'll discuss this more a little bit on the show. But I called it in 5. It will be in 5. And I just, once again, would like to congratulate LeBron James on winning his 4th ring.
Nah, we don't do that. Like, I remember rest his soul, Kobe. They went up 2-0, and they're like, Kobe, why the scowl? He's like, is it complete? You're 2-0. 2-0 don't get you a championship. 5 more games, get 5 more wins, get you a championship. There's no premature celebration.
Who was Kobe playing at that point?
Orlando.
Oh.
Orlando. You remember it? And I know a team that went up 3-1, and they was already the toast of the town. Oh, they're always talking about, their owner, he up there dancing and doing all this thing, and Kawhi looking on. What happened to all Kawhi care about is the playoffs? What happened to load management? Oh, Kawhi load management. Don't you worry about this, Shannon. Clipper Nation y'all ain't no nation.
I'm glad you brought that up because right now the Clippers would be up 3-1 on the Lakers. You know it, and I know it.
This is what I know.
They were built and born to beat the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. Unfortunately, they overlooked this cute little underdog called the Nuggets.
Skip, it doesn't do you any good to build a house that can withstand wind, but it can't withstand rain. Because what happens if the wind doesn't blow, but you get a deluge? So what happens if you don't play the Lakers? You built to beat the Lakers, but you don't play them on your quest to get to your ultimate destination. Then what?
This has become LeBron's easiest path to a ring by far.
Doesn't matter.
By far.
Guess what? No, look, what would the ring say? Because there were times that in Tim Duncan...
have an asterisk on it.
Tim Duncan's first win was a strike short.
It'll say COVID championship.
Let me ask you a question. When Tim Duncan won his first win, does anybody remember there was a strike short in season?
I do.
No, you don't.
I bring
you ain't mentioned it. No, ain't nobody mentioned it.
Come on, I bring it.
No, don't do that. Don't do that, Skip.
So just think of what LeBron just got to do. He got to take 5 months off at age 30.
Everybody else took 5 months off as well.
But he's the one ending his 17th NBA season. What's he up to NBA minutes? 3rd most?
Yes, 3rd.
Almost the 2nd most? Okay, so he got to do that. He got to beat a 35-39 Portland, the worst defensive team by far.
The best 8 seed in history.
Worst defensive team.
Yep.
And then he got to beat Houston with Daniel House disqualified.
With James Harden. Some said he's a greater offensive. I know a guy that sits on TNT that came out in the draft that says James Harden is a better offensive weapon than Michael Jordan. He said that on numerous occasions, and that's what LeBron had to go up against. Russell Westbrook, Skip Bayless comes out here and talks about he did that 3 straight years of triple-doubles. He did that. He's an MVP. LeBron walks the dog with him. Oh, they're terrible. They should have never been there. Now the Nuggets, the hottest team, the only team in the history of the NBA to come back from 2 3-1 deficits in the same playoffs, and now they're terrible. And they got 2 guys that's blossoming right before your eyes. Jamal Murray's a household name now.
The Clippers were your kryptonite.
Nah.
And you avoided them. You got to dodge that bullet. And the biggest bullets you've dodged this year were Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, who came close to playing. They were thinking about it. They were healthy enough to play, and they said, no, we better wait until next year. If they had joined that Nets team, you would have been in.
Well, guess what? If Kawhi had joined the Lakers, okay, since we're doing ifs, if Kawhi joins the Lakers and Kawhi, LeBron, and AD, then what? What KD and Kyrie going to do with the Nets?
Okay, they're already signed by the Nets. So they are Nets, and they could have played this year. They could have played this year.
They had already said KD is not playing. KD was not playing until 2021.
There were rumors.
No, there were no rumors. Those were lies. I don't know who's speculating that. KD wasn't speculating.
You dodged another one.
No,
congratulations.
We dodged nothing.
Way to go.
This is what we know. I want the people at home to know. This is what the Clippers did. That's what the Clippers did.
They choked on your food at your restaurant. Everybody chokes on your food.
Skip, give us our due. Why we can't get our credit?
You cook most of your food?
Yes. Why we can't get our credit? See, Skip, I got me some new masks right here because, makeup was getting on the other ones. So these are...
Oh, so you ordered new masks?
Yeah. No, Fox did.
Tell me where to order those.
No, Fox did.
Way to go.
That was a good game last night. What is Skip?
It was good for LeBron. Way to go, LeBron. Congratulations.
You didn't enjoy watching
parade
the game?
on Monday.
No, ain't no parade. No, we got a couple of weeks. We got about 2 weeks. But it's definitely happening. Woo, I'm going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you right now, Skip, I'm going to miss time. I'm going to be at the parade.
Okay.
I'm going to be at the parade.
We'll just have you live at the parade.
You want to bring the mic to LeBron? Yep. LeBron!
To answer your question, I want to see LeBron in the finals. You asked that earlier. I want to see it.
Yes, everybody want to see it.
I want to see it.
Everybody
Hopefully,
does.
he locks it in this weekend. Personally, I'm hoping for. So, Skip, I'm with you. Lakers are taking it in 5.
No mercy.
Hall of Famer Michael Irvin believes the Cowboys' comeback against the Falcons may have been the best thing to happen to the team. Irvin said a win like that, quote, propels you to greater things. Irvin went on to say that Dallas can now feel like they have a shot at winning any game, no matter the score. So, Shannon, do you agree with Michael Irvin?
No. I love Mike. Mike be out his mind. Mike say this every year. I remember last year, 2019, they blow out the Eagles on Sunday night. Michael Irvin says, this is the kind of game, a division rival, you beat the brakes off them. Lost his voice talking about that one. In 2016, the Dallas Cowboys goes to Lambeau Field, beat the brakes off the Green Bay Packers. Michael Irvin and Skip Bayless tell me this is the type of game. Michael Irvin said, the Giants, I forget what year it was, Tony Romo spins out of a sack, hit Jason Witten for the game-winning touchdown with 3 seconds on the clock. This is the type of game that can launch the Cowboys. Cowboys haters.
You do that pretty well.
Yeah, exactly. Skip, so he's been saying this. Michael retired. Last year was 99. He retired in 2000. Michael's been saying the same BS for 20 years. And he's been wrong for 20 years. Now, eventually, Skip Bayless, he's going to be right. Because if I play the lottery long enough, I'm going to hit eventually. So, no. Skip, granted, playing with John Elway after having see what he had done up close and personal, but what he had done in the playoffs. The drive had happened. Shannon Sharpe was in high school.
I know.
So,
at Cleveland.
At Cleveland. So he had done it so many times in the playoffs. Obviously, in the regular season, you're like, well, hell, if he can do this on the road in a playoff game, you know what he can do at home, Skip. You know what he can do in a regular season game. So that builds confidence. Dak is going to have to do something like this in a playoff game, Skip. Yes, they believe that Dak can win ball games. I believe Dak's teammates have always believed in him. That's why they think he deserves his money, whatever he's asking for. But also, Skip, the other team looks at it like, hold on. They gave up a whole bunch of points. We can kind of get what we want against them. You saw what the Rams did? Because it's not just one-sided, Skip.
Nope.
Michael is just looking at it from an offensive standpoint and them scoring 40 points.
Yep.
But you gave up 39, and you didn't take the ball away. The Rams did a number on you in your building. So, I mean, not in your building, you came out to SoFi.
Yep.
So other teams are looking at your defense like, they looking their chops like, hey, we can have our way. So it just doesn't work one side of the equation. But Michael is just it was a big win. No question about that, Skip. But I can assure you, having come back, I don't ever recall looking back like, man, you remember that game we came back against Kansas City, that game we came back against Raiders? It's going to come in handy this week. That's not how my mind worked. Maybe it is. That's normally it works like that on the outside. It never works like that on the inside. So no, I do not believe that was the game that's going to catapult them into greatness.
So, Shannon Sharpe was a leader of 3 teams that won Super Bowls.
Yes.
Michael Irvin was the leader of 3 Cowboy teams that won Super Bowls, and it should have been 5 maybe, conservatively. 5.
It could have.
Obviously, Jerry ended up firing Jimmy after 2.
Appreciate that, Jimmy.
Yeah, there we go. Took you off the hook.
Oh, we got him, Skip. They couldn't do that with our offense.
I totally disagree with that. So, I covered the Cowboy dynasty of the 90s, and I've always told you that the leader of that team, the man that you wanted in your foxhole, in your locker room, on your sideline, in your huddle, was Michael Irvin. When he speaks, I do listen. He gets a little bombastic. He gets full of himself. He is a blast just to watch, just to watch it. He's a performer.
But Skip, he talks like he's in the locker room, he's playing. He could do that when he was playing.
He could do that, and that was contagious. That energy was contagious for the 90s teams.
Yes.
And look, for those out there who say, well, what about him off the field? He had big issues off the field.
Yes.
I'm just talking about on the field. He was the man for that Cowboy team. Beyond Troy, beyond Emmett, beyond Charles Haley, he was the leader of that team. They went as Michael went.
Yes.
Okay, so he's exactly right about this part. All the Cowboy haters, they were all ready. They were licking their chops, led by Shannon Sharpe.
Yes.
And it was, he said, Michael agreed and admitted publicly, we rose from the dead. I was writing my eulogy. He was already preparing, how do you defend this, in public? Because it's pretty indefensible.
Correct, yes.
Okay. But he concludes, it was an incredible win. It was a win I didn't think they had in them. They showed me something different. Okay, I co-signed that. I didn't think they could win the game either. I'm at least as big a Cowboy fan as Michael Irvin is. And yet, in the end, as improbable as it was, as much as Atlanta lost it more than Dallas won it, something happened that I cannot explain. And by the way, my quarterback then had to cash the opportunity, and he did.
Yes.
And the field goal kicker had to cash in the opportunity, the new guy from the Rams, obviously, Greg the Leg Zuerlein, and he cashed it in. And I agree with Michael that when he says, when you have a game like this, the aroma stays in your nostrils all year long because it's a miracle, man. And it makes you feel like, is this meant to be? Is this our time? Are we going to take off from here?
So is that same aroma in your nostrils when the other opposing team is going up and down the field on your defense? Is that in your nostrils? Or what about your special teams? Can't get on fourth down. They get snuffed out twice. Okay. Is that in your nostrils?
But what did you tell me about the Cowboy defense on Sunday? It actually played pretty well in the second half because it was 29-10 at halftime.
Only gave up 10 points.
They gave up 10 points, and they had a couple of sort of stops. At least you hold them to a field goal,
yes.
right? Okay.
In the first half, that was huge.
It was huge. Okay. So do I like I don't like my defense. DeMarcus Lawrence, you've been all over him. He's got a knee issue. He hasn't practiced all week. I don't even know if he's going to play. Awuzie, who he can cover, but he can't catch. He's like another clone of
Byron Jones.
Byron Jones, who went to Miami. It's like you got to be able to get your hands on the football. But Awuzie has gone now with a hamstring. It sounds like a tear. Okay.
Trayvon Diggs was nicked.
He was nicked, but I think he's going to play.
Okay.
And Jordan Lewis, I still like him. He's going to have to start now. He's all the way. Anthony Brown is gone. So they're pretty decimated. And guess who's off the scrap heap? Remember used car?
Used car, Brady,
Used car?
He on the practice squad, Skip.
Well, I don't know if he's going to be elevated and activated. I don't know. He might have to be because it might be all they have.
He got one of those contracts, Skip. He's on the practice squad, $12,000 a week, and then they call you up. Josh McCown got that same deal in Philly. He's coaching in Texas.
Okay.
They call him up.
And what have I campaigned for really for 2 years? For Earl Thomas. You say no because he's just caused so many issues with Seattle and obviously with Baltimore also. But would I like to have Earl Thomas Sunday at Seattle, going back to the scene of the quote-unquote crime?
I mean, think about it, Skip. Think about with all the injuries that they got going on, they still have said no.
They have still said no. And it's significant. I buy that. I would have said yes. And especially for this week, I would have said yes. Okay, so here's my gut feeling on this game. I still have this weird, crazy, maybe Atlanta-fueled feeling.
Haze.
Yeah, maybe it's a haze. Maybe it is. Maybe it's just complete delusion that my offense can outscore Russell Wilson's extremely potent offense. At least the stadium is empty. If they had their 12th man in place, if they had their however many 70,000 fans, probably not. But this time, it's a little bit of a mausoleum in there. It's a little bit like too quiet.
Yes.
And you saw what Cam did on their defense. He threw for almost 400 yards, which shocked everybody. Well, you don't think my quarterback could throw for 400-ish? He threw for 450 against Atlanta. I think he can have another one of those clinic days. He put on a clinic against Atlanta. Again, you can say, coming from behind, they're playing it a little looser. They're not up.
He did it.
Yep, he did it. And he executed decision after decision, accurate throw after accurate throw.
He did.
He had no turnovers. Wow. Usually you get desperate, you try things you shouldn't try, and they pick off a couple of passes that end your miraculous comeback. Okay? So now I'm saying if you can duplicate that kind of passing attack against a Seattle defense that's pretty decimated also. Bruce Irvin was, I think, their best edge rusher.
Right.
He's gone. Their best nickel corner is gone. And it just seems like I looked at their injury report, and it's got like 20 guys on it. So I don't know. That was a big Sunday night battle against Cam and the Patriots. Can you get back up for the Cowboys in time? I'm going to do the same score. I'm going to pick the same score as they just miraculously survived Atlanta. I'm going Dallas 40-39 over Seattle.
Well, I'm with you in the high scoring. I got the Seahawks winning 34-30 because right now Russ is playing out of his mind.
He is.
And Skip, he got weapons. DK Metcalf, give him another year or two, you're going to be talking about him as a top 5 receiver because he's a big, I'm talking about, 6'3.5", 6'4", 240. can run. You got Lockett.
Well,
they got Moore, Skip. Yeah. They're loaded at talent. And they're looking at, hold on, did you see what Calvin Ridley did? Did you see what Justin Gage did? Julio was nicked, or he could have had a big day. And Russ is like, man, I only got 11 incompletions. I got 9 tubs. Yep. And one of the incompletions wasn't his fault because he did hit Olsen in the hands, and it skimmed through his hands and ended up going for a pick 6. So, and I agree. I get, Skip, that the crowd is not there, so that's a neutralizing element, because a part of that was the crowd and you getting false start penalties, guys being able to jump the count and get to your quarterback. But Seattle really doesn't rush the passes that well anyway, even though I don't think Tyron Smith is going to play, Skip.
I don't know. They said they're still optimistic.
Optimistic, yeah. So we'll see. So with a Woozy out, Brown out, so now you got your backup to the backup that's going to be on the field trying to deal with those wide receivers. I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game. Jamal Adams, this is what they brought you here for, to play in games of this magnitude.
He grew up a Cowboy fan. He wanted to be a Cowboy, so I'm sure he's going to come with...
And Jamal, they didn't want you. The Cowboys, you wanted to be a Cowboy, and they traded you, but the Cowboys didn't put no bid in. So what you going to do about that?
You trying to rev him up?
Oh, and, you know, B-Wags, you got a 99 on Madden.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So what happened the last time these two teams faced each other?
In Seattle or in the playoffs?
In the playoffs.
Oh, I forgot about that.
You forgot about it? Yeah. It was at Jerry World a couple of years back.
Yeah.
And guess what? My quarterback, Dak Prescott, beat Russell Wilson. I'm not saying he actually outplayed him for the whole game, because Russell was still pretty good.
He was.
It was 24-22 Dallas, and it came down to one late play on 3rd and long, pretty deep in Seattle territory, and I think we have that play. Oh, here it is. We do have it.
Yeah.
Who knew? It just came out of nowhere. Look at my quarterback.
Wags, get it, Wags.
He does it
Wags.
Elway. Way to go. He ran through the whole Seattle defense on a quarterback draw.
That was hit in the back by Jarwin, too.
Okay, well, that won the game right there, because he took it in on the next play from the 1, and that made it 24-14 Dallas, and they hung on 24-22. Thank you very much. I feel like I got that aroma in my nostrils right now. I smell victory Sunday.
Okay. Well, I don't smell that. I don't smell that. What you smell it right there. Yep. But Russ probably win fantasy again. He probably gonna throw for another 3-4 tubs.
Yep, I would agree. He will. I think he'll be 400 plus, but so will my quarterback.
Oh, for your quarterback?
Yep.
Okay.
And don't forget C.D. Lamb emerging as a beast.
You do realize while Dak is winning these games and throwing for all these yards, you know it's going ka-ching, ka-ching,
I
ka-ching.
don't care. I told you I'll pay him $50 million if he gets me to the Super Bowl.
I mean, think about this, Skip. You wanted to pay him 33. The Cowboys wanted to pay him 33, and they're going to end up being somewhere around 43.
I thought they offered 36.
No. The report. No. Skip. I'm not going to let you put that out there.
Well, I've been putting it out there.
No. James Slater said it was slightly more, but it was less than what Russell got. Russell was 35. It was slightly less than what, but a little bit more. It is golfish and Wentz-like, but not Russell Wilson. So now it's going to cost you $10 million more per year, and you don't have the option year.
Shannon Sharpe decided that offer on the table was a very fair offer.
Fair. Yes. Yeah, it was fair. It was fair.
But
you know what? That's where you go get candy apples to ride the merry-go-round. The fair. They judge pigs at the fair.
I'm going to the fair Sunday.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I'll make sure I'm watching that. I got to watch that game. I'll put it on the big TVs.
That's going to be a fun fair to be at. It's going to be a great battle between Russ and Dak. But we're moving on because there's a new rivalry in the making, as some people are saying that Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson are the great new AFC quarterback rivalry, replacing Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. While both quarterbacks are early in their careers, Lamar Jackson is 0-2 against Mahomes and has a completion percentage of just 52% in those games. So, Shannon, does Lamar need to win this game against Mahomes to make it a rivalry?
No, because it's not going to change the dynamic of who these players are, Skip. What made Peyton and Brady a rivalry, Skip, is that they met 5 times in the playoffs. They met 4 times in AFC championship games. That's what made it a rivalry. What made Bird and Magic a rivalry? It wasn't them playing in the regular season. It was the NBA Finals. Somebody was going to cause somebody some heartache, Skip. The Ravens and the Steelers. Because not only were they in the same division, they caused, okay, you ain't going to the playoffs. You're not going to the Super Bowl this year. We're ending your season. Skip, if they played with greater regularity, this will only be their third time. If I'm not mistaken, I think Mahomes beat him in his building, and then they went last year and beat Lamar in Baltimore. But for me, Skip, it's going to take, now I get it, there's only going to be one bye week this year. So 2 doesn't get a bye. 2 has to play. So it might, well, if Lamar loses this one, maybe Kansas City gets the #1 seed, they get the week off. Maybe if Lamar wins, they get the bye week and Kansas City has to play. But for me, rivalries doesn't start because you got to play often. You got to play every single year. Ohio State, Michigan is a rivalry. Duke, North Carolina, Skip, because they play every year. Or if you want to be a rivalry, I got to see you in the playoffs. Skip, I got to cause you pain. I got to be the reason that your ultimate goal that you said you wanted to hold something up at the end of the season, I got to be the reason that ends. I want when you go to bed, you go to work out, you see my face. So for me, if Lamar doesn't win this game, sure, I'm sure he'll be disappointed because, like, man, what I got to do to beat my homeboy. But for me, nah, it's not a rivalry yet until one of these guys keep the other one from getting to the playoffs. That's what made Peyton and Brady special. Brady and Peyton also started, Skip, you remember this, they started out in the same division. They all used to be in the AFC East, so they literally had to play each other twice a year, and then they faced each other in the playoffs. Think about that. They faced each other 5 times in the playoffs, 4 in AFC championship games. Peyton, 2, 1 in Baltimore. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, Peyton Manning is 3-1 against old GOAT in the AFC Championship game. Did you know that, Skip?
I just know old GOAT won 6 Super Bowl rings and 9 tries.
Man, Peyton Manning would have had 9 if he'd had Belichick.
Really? I don't think so.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, my turn. You realize that I picked the Baltimore Ravens to win the Super Bowl. You picked the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl.
I did.
Correct?
Yep.
So here we go. It's Monday night. This is why I disagree with the point you just made. Lamar Jackson, and I'm a big fan, he needs to win this game. We're talking about legacies here that will turn into rivalry, and I don't disagree with your premise of it needs to happen when it really matters.
Right.
But so far, Lamar has nothing to show on games that really matter. 2 of those came in the regular season, both of them at Kansas City, rookie year, second year, obviously, for Lamar. And he lost both. He played really well in the first one. I'll talk about it in just a second. Not so well in the second one. But do I need to remind everybody what's happened to Lamar in 2 home playoff games?
Right.
Nothing great.
No.
Okay, stunk it up twice, and he knows it, and he's talked about it. I think it's fueling him. I still believe Baltimore is the best team. I think they've shown so far they're the best team. I certainly don't write off Kansas City, but Lamar, for the sake of his team and the sake of this rivalry, he needs to win this game at home as a 4-point favorite over the Chiefs. So let's look at those 2 games quickly. What happened in 2018? It was their first meeting late in the year, week 14. It was cold and windy in Kansas City.
And Lamar had only been starting about 5-6 games, I think.
For fluke, right? Okay. So this was the first time I sat back and I said, wait a second, this kid is going to be special.
Right.
Because he was really, really good in this game, throwing it and running it, because he ran it 14 times for 67 yards, but he threw it really well, threw for 2 touchdowns and no picks. And he threw a touchdown pass to John Brown with 4:04 left that put them ahead 24-17. And I thought, he just pulled this off.
Yep.
And they had Kansas City pushed all the way back to 4th and 9. 4th and 9?
Twice.
Well,
they had 2 4th downs on the big throw.
The one was 4th and 9 with 1:29 left. And your man hit Tyreek on his little crossing route. It was only about a 5-yard throw, but he caught it and he took off with it. And it's that staple of the West Coast offense. And once he got underneath and caught it and turned it up, it was over. And he went 48 yards with it, and they went on down and scored. It did come down to a 4th down play.
They went for the 4th and goal.
He hit Damien Williams with a little pop pass, and then that was at 24-all. Then Lamar got strip sacked, and Butker missed the field goal that should have won it, but then they won it with a long drive in overtime. Okay, and actually Lamar ended up getting banged up, and they had to put RG3 in to end the game in overtime. Did well for himself, showed what was about to happen.
Right.
But they lost. And then the game 2019 last year came pretty early. It was September 22nd. It wound up 33-28, but going into the fourth quarter, the game was virtually already over. It was just, it was pretty ugly. So my point to you is that Lamar hasn't done enough. You need a dub. You need to do something. I think it's a huge game. As regular season games go, because it's a Monday night game, he needs to show the world that he can lift his team up over Mahomes' team, or it's going to start looking like, well, you're just second rate. You're second best. You can't beat that guy. You can't win big games. That will start. You're going to start to hear the low roar of that if he doesn't win this game. I believe he can win this.
Well, Skip, see, for me, I get it. I'm more of a playoff, and we play all the time. The Bears and the Packers. You're talking about a 100-year history of them playing consistently. Now, there's a great likelihood, Skip, if they don't meet in the playoffs, when will the next time? Would they play again next year? I don't see that. And like I said, I need to call...
I think there's great likelihood they meet in the playoffs.
Yes. My thing is, Skip, I need to call you pain. I need to call you misery. I want to be the reason why you train the way you train, you eat the way you eat, and you focus the way you focus.
Yep.
I don't, you know what? Maybe Lamar is thinking like that, Skip, because even though he's the reigning MVP, people still say Mahomes is the better of the quarterbacks.
They do.
And maybe they've already bumped him down to third because they say, and they bump Russ up because Vegas is saying Russ is not a favorite to win the MVP. So maybe he's saying, well, hey, I don't get no respect because y'all saying he's better. Now y'all saying Russ is better. So maybe that's fueling him, Skip. But that's just me. I looked at us. We had a rivalry with Kansas City and the Raiders. We had Raider Week. From the very first time, and I understood, okay, it's Raider Week. Things were different. Coaches were on edge. Now,
okay, but that had started long before you.
long before.
These kids are having to start their own legacy rivalry.
Well, the Pittsburgh rivalry started with me. When I got there.
Yeah, that's true.
Because Coach Kyle, you know,
when you talk about those division rivalries, they go back to the 60s.
Yes. So let me ask you a question. So, are we picking this game?
No, we'll pick it Monday.
Okay.
So just to conclude on this, just for those who have forgotten, Lamar, as a rookie, played the Chargers in a playoff game at home.
Yeah.
And it was a disaster in which they were booing him.
They booed him, man.
Yeah, they booed him, wanted him replaced, but Harbaugh stuck with him, and he actually came alive a little bit in the fourth quarter.
Right.
But they entered the fourth quarter down 23-3, and they lost 23-17. He had a QBR of 11 on a scale 0 to 100. And then last year, they weren't ready. They had taken virtually 3 weeks off. The Titans came in and just buzzsawed them in half.
I asked John not to do it.
Yep.
Don't do it.
You're right.
Because he's a rhythm quarterback.
Lamar threw 2 picks and lost a fumble.
Yep. And they got stopped. How many times did he get stopped on fourth down, Skip?
It was a disaster.
It was.
Okay.
It was.
So he knows it. He's a proud young man. And I think he will rise and shine under the Monday night lights.
Okay.
Yep.
Ravens, I need them to meet in the playoffs. I need them to meet in the AFC Championship game. I don't care where it's at.
I think it's destined.
I think they need to meet.
Yep.
They need to meet.
No mercy.
Drew Brees and the Saints are coming off a surprising loss to the Raiders, and now they will face the 2-0 Packers on Sunday Night Football. Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay are a 3-point road underdogs, according to Fox Bet. So, Shannon, who wins this one?
Skip, I went back and forth with this one. I wrote down my score, what I thought the score would be between the two teams, and then I inserted one. I was like, eh. And then I inserted it. I was like, okay. And I ended up going with Green Bay. And I think it's going to be a close ball game. I went 33-27. I just love the way Rodgers is playing. I love the way he's throwing the football, spreading it around. Doesn't look like he's going to have Devontae Adams. But Aaron Jones has been running the ball phenomenal, catching the ball out of the backfield. Valdez-Scantling, Lazard have done a great job catching the football also. I just love the way Rodgers is playing. I love the way the offensive line is protecting him, and that's what he's going to need. Now, they're not going to have fans. I don't think they're going to have fans in New Orleans again, which is going to help. Takes the crowd noise out of it because we know what the Mercedes-Benz Dome, we know that crowd, it energizes, and they feed off that. For whatever reason, maybe it's because they had no mini camps, they had no LTAs, they had a condensed training camp, no preseason games. Some teams look like they need still a couple of 2 or 3 weeks away from hitting their stride. And the Saints looks like one of those teams. Doesn't look like they're going to have Michael Thomas. For whatever reason, Drew and Emmanuel Sanders haven't been able to get on the same page. Skip, I thought this was a match made in heaven. Emmanuel Sanders can run the route tree, great run after the catch, but for whatever reason, him and Drew hadn't been able to connect. And Drew hasn't looked sharp. He has not looked sharp. And so maybe, like I said, he said they're not hitting on all cylinders. They're a little off. But he didn't look good. He didn't really look good in New Orleans against Tampa, and he didn't look good on Monday night. So I'm expecting him to play better. But I just think right now Aaron Rodgers is ahead of him as far as his play, and I'm taking them to win this game on Sunday.
For once, I hope you are right, because I love me some Aaron Rodgers.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I believe in Aaron Rodgers.
For all the wrong
I think
reasons.
Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback who ever played in the. I think he's better than Tom Brady. I think he's right now better than Russell Wilson, better than Patrick Mahomes.
Don't do that, Skip.
Well, look at his QBR. He leads the league. It's only 2 games, but he leads the league with a 91 average QBR over Russell at 87. So I'm hoping Aaron had a great week of practice. I hope he went home and had, what do you call
Scotch.
it? Fingers? No, he has fingers of tequila.
Okay. Oh, he's a tequila guy now.
Like 2 or 4, 6, 8. I don't know. You can have 8 fingers of tequila.
Okay.
I don't care. I want you nice and calm and relaxed, healthy and happy. And I need one more big statistical outburst from you, because I do not need Aaron Rodgers doing a statistical cliff dive, as he always does, somewhere early after 2 or 3 good games. Then he goes kaboom, and he goes south. I need the Packers to win this game, because I need Tampa Bay to rise into first place.
That's a shame. That's a shame, Skip. You always see people. We see that you always got an ulterior motive.
I do.
You're not rooting for Aaron Rodgers.
I do.
You're rooting.
I am rooting like
against the
mad.
Saints.
I'm rooting for Aaron Rodgers in this
against the
game.
Saints.
He has been sensational in his first 2 games. Well, he has.
But I thought you said it was Aaron Jones. I thought you said the real leader of this team is Aaron Jones, not Aaron Rodgers.
The MVP.
The MVP.
It's actually the other Aaron.
Yeah. But
I'm looking for my friend, Aaron Jones. I met him at the Super Bowl. What a great young man he is. Great Cowboy, born and raised a Cowboy fan, I think, in El Paso.
man, everybody wasn't no Cowboy fan.
Everybody's a Cowboy fan, and you are too at heart.
No.
Our man Eric Dickerson from Sealy, Texas.
Oh, he definitely is a Cowboy
He is a closet Cowboy
Yes,
fan.
absolutely.
He got it. So my other man, Devontae Adams, I don't know if he's going to be able to go.
Not
He's
looking
got a
good.
hamstring issue. That they're kind of game-timey on this one. Look at what's happened so far. He's been thrown 20 balls. He caught 17 for 192 yards, and we're just 2 games in. That's like, for some guys, that's a pretty good first half of the season, right?
Yep.
Okay, so Aaron Jones has been running wild and catching wild, and Valdez-Scantling has rose and shown. He's a big kid, and he's caught 7 for 160, which is sensational. So Lazard's been catching the ball. I just think they're on fire. They went to Minnesota and just cleaned them out. They beat Detroit handily. Look at what they've scored. They've scored 43 and 42. So surely, against a Saints defense that is reeling a little bit from what the Raiders did to them on Monday night, surely I think they could put up 35. So I'm going to go up to 35. And I say, look, I'm not writing off Drew Brees. Who is? You're not either.
No.
Is he licking his wounds? Yes. He also might be licking his chops to get some revenge on everybody who thinks he's washed now. So I expect him to play very well. I just expect Aaron to play a little better.
And guess what? Guess who's on the other side? Aaron Rodgers. These all-time great quarterbacks, they know who's on the other side. You remember when Tom Brady, he's like, oh, that's Tom Brady. When he goes against Peyton Manning, you know, hey, that's the matchup. And, all-time great quarterbacks, they know what's at stake. They understand that people, man, such and such, I played him. Aaron Rodgers, I played Drew Brees. Drew Brees, I played Tom Brady, and so forth and so on. So, and it doesn't look like the Saints will have Michael Thomas.
It does not look like, but I don't write these things off until they happen.
Yeah, because I'm trying to Skip. If he got a high ankle sprain, I don't know if people ever had those, but man, to come back after 2 weeks, that's awful. That's awful optimistic.
So I got Aaron Rodgers 35, Drew Brees 32.
Okay.
One on a late field goal by my man Mason Crossbar. He owes me for what he did to me in 2016 in the playoffs. Dak's first year, obviously Zeke's first year, and he hit 2 intergalactic
You did it to yourself.
We did not do it to ourselves.
Yes.
He did it.
No.
And he made one from
56.
It's impossible. He made one from 56 and then another one from 51. And the one from 51, he hooked it. It was like a duck hook left, and then it's somehow hand of God.
It was just like he aimed. He put it at the outside, knowing it was gonna right down the middle.
How do you get a ball to fade back inside the left upright indoors? How do you get that to happen? I don't know. That is hand of God.
Well, your kicker did it on Sunday. Look how the ball started out and just ducked right down in the middle. Not as much.
Every kick he kicks starts out that way. He's the weirdest looking kicks that they sort of knuckleball. They just sort of float all around, but they end up going right down Broadway. So I'm good with that.
So you got 35,
32.
I got 33, 27.
Close enough.
Yeah.
And for once, you have become the Charles Barkley of Undisputed because you're never right. But
I'll be right with the pick of the game. Did I have the points last night? Didn't I have the points?
You didn't have the points?
The Nuggets in the.
What are you talking about?
I had the points, the total points.
All I know is that you said that your man plus AD would score 70-plus points.
We got 60. We're a little short.
You got 60, but I said that's just too many. It's just wrong.
Well, my guy, I didn't know my guy. They running guys. Jeremy Grant staying on the move. MJP staying on the move. So that's all right. MPJ, sorry.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We get it back.
You keep saying.
Can I get 60 for Saturday night? 60? Yeah. Between LeBron and AD.
You know what? I'm not going to make that bet because I think they will have 60.
Yeah, we'll get it.
I think it's a wipeout.
There you go.
Congratulations, LeBron. You just won your 4th round.
All I know is that in Game 7, a team that lives in the basement quit. Really? Jamal Murray and Yoke made them quit. Did you see that, Skip?
I don't remember it.
20 points in a Game 7 after you were up?
Ancient history.
And now you hear the commotion that's going on in the locker room about PG. PG up there talking, they up there rolling it. This up here.
We might have to get rid of him.
Whoa! Already?
Yeah, we might.
He just got there.
You know, he's George Paul to me.
Y'all just gave him that, so he just had a cup of coffee. Y'all ready to get him up out there?
No. Maybe we could trade him straight up for Jimmy Butler. How about that?
Man, you...
No mercy. Tomorrow starts Saturday strong with a huge doubleheader on Fox. First, Oklahoma looks to avenge last year's loss to K-State on the big noon game of the week. Then the Longhorns take on the Red Raiders only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Now, the Lakers and Nuggets came down to the wire again in Game 4 last night. LeBron and Anthony Davis combined for 60 points, just 10 short of Shannon's prediction. But they were able to secure the win and go up 3-1 in the series. The Lakers outscored Denver on second chance points 25-6 thanks to their offense rebounding down the stretch. We are joined now by Fox Sports NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Chris, what is the biggest reason that the Lakers won last night?
Well, let's just cut to the chase because we all know what this question is about. LeBron James, or who it's about. LeBron was great. 26, 9, 8, no turnovers, 14 free throw attempts, hits 11, 5 of 6 down the stretch. And most impressively to me, he guarded and did a great job on Jamal Murray down the stretch. So LeBron was very good last night. But he did not carry the Lakers, okay? This wasn't the LeBron we're used to seeing where he puts everything on his back and he really does it all. He really, to me, at least in this series, is fitting into the system more than being the system. And to be honest, I like it. And what I saw last night from the Lakers was a total team effort. Team. They were a great team last night. LeBron starred. AD starred with his 34 points. And even though he didn't rebound, I don't know how in the world he goes the first half without a rebound, but he did get some key rebounds in the fourth quarter down the stretch. But you got to credit the rest of the guys because, as I said, team effort. Dwight Howard with the 12 and 11 in the first half. He wore down Nikola Jokic physically, I believe. KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, some big shots and even a big defensive play or two here or there. Playoff Rondo showed up again, hitting jumpers, hitting a three, driving to the basket. I mean, this was a real team effort. And so I just think it was the Lakers team. LeBron was good, AD was good, but they were a great team last night.
Well, Chris, I think I got a key to why AD's not been getting any rebounds. The Nuggets shot 65% in the first quarter. They shot 59% from the first half. The Lakers shot 58% in the first quarter. So it's kind of hard to get rebounds when ain't nobody missing. Dwight got all the offensive rebounds. Dwight had four in the first.
The rest. Right.
Dwight got the rest of the rebounds. But I agree with you. AD, the difference was the two stars from the two teams. AD and LeBron outplayed Jokic and Murray. Murray was phenomenal. I thought Murray was phenomenal. But Dwight Howard did a phenomenal job denying and making Jokic work. He made him work on the offensive end because he's running to the front of the rim. He's crashing the offensive board, and he got a lot of putbacks. And the thing is, he's crafty. You don't win 3 defensive player of the years by accident. He's on one side, and they pass him that side. The next thing you know, Dwight's on the other side. So he's constantly annoying Jokic, making it work on both ends of the court. And I thought down the stretch, it wore on Jokic. Jokic looked tired. And also, give Rondo. Rondo's been phenomenal in this series. We know playoff Rondo, but he's making passes. He's cutting to the basket. He's making big shots. You know, the shot clock winding down, Chris, and he hits that big 3. In the fast break, he pulls up. Nobody guards him at the top of the free throw line. He hits that jumper. KCP with the timely 3s. But I don't need to say nothing. My guy, Go James. Now, Chris Broussard, the guy you voted for Defensive Player of the Year and the MVP, he turned down an assignment on Jimmy Butler in Game 1. Butler was going crazy. He wanted no parts of it. Them 2 wing defenders that you have called on this show the greatest since Pippen and Jordan didn't want this assignment. They could do nothing with Jamal Murray in the second half, and let alone the fourth quarter. My guy, 35 years of age, got a birthday in about 4 months, about to be 36. 17 years with a lot of wear and tear on those legs. Took the assignment on the 25, 26-year-old Jamal. He might not be yet that old. On Jamal Murray. I need some kudos to my guy. I need his flowers now. I need them flowers now, Chris Broussard.
Props. Props. He was great.
Okay.
The defense, I was impressed.
I got flowers.
No, you don't.
I got props.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Everybody know you ain't got none of that.
Weeds.
Yeah.
I am here to admit, LeBron James finally came up clutch in clutch time. Except it was on defense, not on offense. He was actually having a miserable fourth quarter on offense. He wound up 1 for 4. He did get to the free throw line, and he made 7 of 8, which by his standards is like, wow, a rare sight.
Right.
None of those free throws had to be shot when the game was within 1 point or tied, so he got a break there because we know he can get really shaky on those. But the point was, the story of the game was that Jamal Murray did a number on LeBron with about 2.5 minutes left in the first half. It was another trick shot from Jamal Murray, and he deked LeBron because LeBron thought he had him dead to rights with a block, if we could see it. And at the last second, whoops, he pulled a string on him, and he went up and under, and LeBron blocked nothing but air, and Jamal off the glass hit nothing but net. It was another display of a rising superstar who, in the end of the game, was not a superstar, but he can pull off shots like that. I believe it stung LeBron because he got sort of reverse posterized. I think he went to the halftime locker room, Nuggets still hanging around. Only a 5-point game, and I believe LeBron brooded at halftime, gritted his teeth, and said, I got to wipe that off my resume. I got to get even for that. And to his credit, he told Vogel with about 5.5 minutes left, I got him. It's a big deal. I am with you. But remember, he is 6'9" versus 6 feet 4 inch Jamal Murray. But you got to have enough left in your tank. You got to have enough left in your legs that you can, as you say, sit in that chair. Mm-hmm. And he sat. So let's see the tape of what happened. The first time Jamal drives left, LeBron got his body up into him, and they called a foul. And Frankie V was outraged over it and challenged it and lost the challenge. Mm-hmm. So Denver got to inbound the ball. So here it goes again. And LeBron says, I got him. I'm going to run across the picks. I got him. And he just jumped right in his face and made Jamal give it up too quick. And it was a bad pass. Markieff got a hand on it. And here comes Rondo to KCP. Kaboom. That was a big shot. That was a KCP shot. Here we come again. Here's the drive. That could have been a foul. I thought he did get fouled on that play, but LeBron just kept running, and he kept running.
That's what we do.
He got a bunny. He got a bunny. And this is a three-point game. And then that was the best defensive stand of the night because he beat him to his spot, and he made him eat it. That was not a foul. And Rondo comes right down to the other end, playoff Rondo, and nails what became, it felt like a dagger at that point. Okay, so did LeBron take him for the whole fourth? No, he did not. He took him for the last 5.5 minutes, and it was really just 2 drive shots. The first could have been a foul, and trust me, the Nuggets will now send that tape to the league office to see if they can get some new favor from the officials, the way Vogel and Rob Pelinka did before the game last night, obviously, and they got all the calls. So they got away with one there. If Jamal had gone to the free throw line, he probably would have made 2, and it could have gotten pretty dicey for your Lakers. But they got away with that one. And again, not only did they call fouls on defenders covering LeBron, because what did he end up shooting? 14 free throws?
He and AD both.
Okay, he and AD both shot 14 free throws. But they also gave LeBron breaks when he was guarding Jamal. And the final stat I'll throw back to Chris Broussard is Jamal Murray has been just crazy wild hot from 3. He killed the Clippers from 3, especially in fourth quarters. He shot Utah right in the heart from the three-point line. And yet last night, even after he'd been hot against the Lakers the first 3 games, he goes 0 for only 3. So the Lakers just said, we're not going to let you shoot it from the three-point. We're going to make you drive it every time. And when you can hold him to 0 from 3, and in the fourth quarter he took 1, and it was when the game was over and he missed that badly, you're going to win that game. So I congratulate LeBron and the defense for winning that game, and I congratulate Frankie V and Pelinka for getting the refs to give them every call the whole night. Way to go.
Well, LeBron's last year in Cleveland, before he went to Miami, remember, they played Chicago, and Derrick Rose was one of the best players in the league. And in that series, in the fourth quarters, LeBron was guarding D. Rose.
Snatched him up.
And did kind of the same thing he's done to Jamal Murray. So for him to do that 10 years later in his 17th season, it's incredible. And Shannon is right. You know, I mean, look, I still think overall Kawhi is a better defender at this stage. But Kawhi really wasn't stopping guys at the end of games like LeBron has. And so I got to credit LeBron. He did give James Harden some trouble when he guarded Harden at the end of games or at times during that series. So LeBron, the play where the second play you showed, Skip, where you thought maybe it could have been a foul. And then he runs the floor and finishes with the layup that Rondo fed him. That was like a play by a role player. A guy that gets hardly any touches and just wants to contribute,
That's
know,
a Dennis
any way
Rodman
he
play.
can to the win. Right. When you see your superstar, the best player in the world, doing that, I mean, that foreshadows a championship to me. I mean, that's a huge play right there.
And you mentioned what he did to Derrick Rose in the playoffs, but you remember in the first championship against San Antonio, he was taking Tony Parker. He took Tony Parker the whole game 7. He said, nah, I got Tony Parker. But last night, he hit that Cupid shuffle on old Jamal Murray. To the right, beat him to that point. To the left, beat him to that point. Everywhere he went, and then he started kick with it. Kick with it, kick. Oh, Skip, that was a thing of beauty. 25 second chance point. Dwight Howard, we need one more performance like that, and then we go into the NBA Finals, baby. We need to go down to the bubble.
I thought you told me you can't dance.
Hey, Cupid Shuffle, that's my dance. That's my jam. Hey, I'm going into quarantine.
Ray Lewis sat right there in the show. It said...
You gonna believe me or Ray?
Ray.
Oh, see, there you go. I'm going into quarantine because I need to be in the bubble for the championship.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going into quarantine. I'm going to self-isolation for the next 10 days.
Really?
Yep.
We'll talk about that in a second. Last quick point. I've got to congratulate Dwight Howard also on defense. That was, what's he, a 3-time defensive player of the year? Last night, he was the defensive player of the game to me because he did a number on Jokic, He took him mentally out of the game. He took him statistically out of the game because he was playing with 5 fouls. And Jokic, for the second straight fourth quarter, scored a grand total of 0 points. That is all about Dwight Howard, who plays with more edge and savvy than JaVale does. And once he's on Jokic, it's game over.
Jokic to only 13 shot attempts. Whew. 13 shot attempts. That's what Dwight Howard did.
And did you see Dwight had
nice redemption story for
6
Dwight.
offensive rebounds?
Yeah.
Nice
6?
As long as Dwight cut that bull jive out, he stopped throwing the ball over the backboard after somebody called a foul on him. He cursing it and talking to the referees sideways. Dwight can play. Yes, I wanted him to play a little bit more than the 23 minutes that they gave him. But that's all right. Saved him legs.
Well, honestly, if Dwight gets starters minutes, I have no doubt on this team he could still give you 15 and 12.
Yep.
Yeah.
He can still give you 15 and 12 if they played in starters minutes.
No mercy. LeBron is on the verge of bringing his 3rd team to the NBA Finals. The good news for the Lakers is that they are now 3-1 in the series. The bad news is the same. However, as the Nuggets have come back from being down 3-1 in each of their previous 2 series. So, Shannon, who wins Game 5?
Well, Skip, I still believe that the Anthony Davis, how healthy is he going to be for Game 5 with that ankle? Hopefully it's not bad. He did finish the game. He was limping a little bit, but he was able to give them 10 points in the fourth quarter. But so if I'm saying that he's 90%, I'm gonna take the Lakers. The Lakers understand they're at the precipice of doing something with, one more step to finishing the ultimate walk, which is getting to the NBA final and winning that. But they're gonna have to overcome this Nuggets team. The thing that I like most about them is that they don't quit, Skip. They fight you tooth and nail. I mean, I thought once the Lakers stretched it out, I think they got it up to a 9-point lead late in the ball game, Skip. I was like, okay. Whew. And the next day, it's a 4-point ball game. They will not go away. They're going to continue to scrap. Mike Malone has got these guys playing hard. I know he's disappointed that they allowed Dwight to get 6 offensive rebounds. They let Rondo get 2 big ones down the stretch. He was the smallest man on the court, ending up getting the ball in that situation. So they're going to have to play better. The Nuggets will play better in game 5 than they did in Game 4. The Lakers will have to match that intensity. That's the thing, Skip. The last game is always the toughest because the team knows if they lose, there is no more tomorrow. So they will have a sense of desperation. They will have a sense of urgency, and the Lakers will need to match that sense of urgency, that sense of desperation. Have no doubt in my mind. LeBron James going to get a great night's sleep. He's going to be in that.
Hyperbaric?
Yeah, in there.
Have a few glasses of wine, right? Timeout. Wasn't it Shannon Sharpe who on yesterday's show guaranteed Lakers in 6?
I did.
Yes. So what just happened to Nuggets winning Game 5?
They just might. Because Nuggets won't go away.
They just might? Are you going to flip-flop your pick on the air?
I will.
Live?
After seeing them, what they've done twice, Skip, think about this. In the, 50, 60-year history of playoff basketball, no team has ever done in one playoffs what this team has done. Overcome 2, not 1, 2 3-1 deficits. And one was against the Clippers, 3-1 against the reigning Finals MVP.
Just remember, down 16 in the first closeout, down 19 in the second closeout, and down 12 in the third closeout, and you won all three to win the series.
So that lets you know, Skip, they're not going to be easy closeout. They won't go away. And because they've done this twice in the previous, that is really fresh. Because this is not a regular season game where, Skip, we came back from 20 down against the Bulls. We came back from 19 down against Memphis. No, Skip, they did this in a playoff series. In the playoffs. So this will not be easy. But you know what? As much as I want to be right on my pick, I would really rather for the Lakers to go ahead and close this thing out 5. I'll be wrong with this one.
So you're predicting you will be wrong and that they will close it out in 5?
I'm hoping. I'm praying.
I picked your Lakers in 5 to start with, and I'm sticking with it. I believe they will put Denver out of its misery fairly quickly in Game 5.
You bad luck, though.
I'm good luck. And I've been right about all these series. I told you what was going to happen all along, and right. Okay, so here we go again with you need to you need to stop these guys in their tracks right out of the gate on, what are we up to? When will it be? Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Okay, I guess it'll be still at 9-ish Eastern.
Yeah, it'll be 9.
Okay. You need to do it quickly and decisively, because you do not want to blow this game or you're going to be in trouble. Because if you let them get to 3-2, they're going to start thinking we are magic.
They thought that when it was 2-1. They thought they were magic.
I know, but now it's 3-1, just like it was, as you point out, against Utah and the Clippers.
We David Copperfield. We David Blaine. We snatched the carpet from under you, and you don't see it. That's us. We Houdini, not you.
Okay, but if it gets to 3-2, these guys are going to start thinking, we got this. We got them right where we want them, just like we had Utah and the Clippers.
Well, Utah didn't have that. The Clippers definitely don't have that. But I tell you what we do. We'll swap you Kuzma for Paul George.
Okay, you can have that. Well, I'll take Kuzma.
Okay.
Yep, that's a deal. We'll do that in the offseason. I believe your Lakers will win in a cakewalk on tomorrow night, on Saturday night.
They don't do no Skip. That's the Nuggets.
I just think they'll blow them out. They're just better. They're playing at a higher level. They got Dwight on Jokic. They have found the kryptonite for Jokic. He will get in his head, get up into him, get under his skin early. Jokic was a disaster last night. He was nowhere to be found. And once Jokic goes on offense, then he plays no defense. So you got a super highway to the basket. You got KCP flying. You got Rondo, playoff Rondo, making big appearances at crucial points in the game. You already predicted to me. You said that AD and LeBron could go for 70+, which you thought they would last night. I will agree with you on this one, and I will not bet against you. They both could go 35+ in this game. And I think they will, because they smell blood and they smell having a few more days off to get ready for the Heat. And this is my prediction about tonight. You know how much I love the Heat.
Celtics gonna win.
Celtics will win tonight. They're just too good. They play too good a defense, and they are too proud. They have too much heritage there. They have too much young star power. They're going to rise up and say no to the Heat tonight.
So when would the finals start?
I don't know.
Next weekend?
I think they're not putting it in concrete yet, because they want to see. They'll do it as quickly as they can, given when the series ends.
Probably next week. Probably next week sometime.
But I believe still that the Heat can do it in 6 games. I just don't think they can do it in 5. So if they do it, it's going to give LeBron and company 2 or 3 good days off, because I think
if they do it, I don't believe you can start the finals before next Saturday, Skip. Because here's the thing. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, it goes 7 games with the Lakers. So they play Saturday. That means they will play Saturday, Monday, Wednesday. Are you going to turn around and have the NBA Finals Friday, or would you have it Saturday, Sunday? So I'm thinking Saturday at the earliest. They finish this thing off. Now you get a complete week, Skip.
Okay, but what I see is that the Lakers will finish off Denver tomorrow night. And then I believe that Sunday night, up against the NFL, obviously, I believe Miami will end Boston. Okay, so then how fast would they turn it around?
Yeah, I guess you're right. They probably
would they turn it around to Tuesday or Wednesday?
Because they say they want Game 7 to be played on October 17th at the latest.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
I think they would. Those guys have been stuck in the bubble. They're all going to push for let's go.
Well, hey,
right?
Skip, you know what? You've been down in the bubble for what, 2 months? I think you got 2 more weeks in you.
Okay.
And for that prize, hey, I can do it.
So think of what has happened. Think about what the NBA gods said. Let there be Bron, because they gave him 5 pandemic months off to get ready for this stretch run. They gave him a 35-39 Portland team to start off with.
The greatest 8 seed ever.
And Damian got hurt. They were the worst defensive team in the bubble. Then no more Daniel House after it was 1-1 with Houston. And here come the cute little Nuggets, who the Clippers obviously didn't take seriously. And all of a sudden, you're going to eliminate them in 5 games.
Yeah.
Okay?
But I'm trying to figure out, hold on, Skip. Why would a mentally tough team with the most mentally tough guy in the NBA, Kawhi Leonard, with the coach, the deepest team in the NBA, how y'all not close that out?
Because They have been pointing to your team since game number 1, in which they shut your team down in the fourth quarter and embarrassed you. Game number 1, way back when.
Oh, so, okay, Skip, y'all hung that banner. Opening night winning, that's in the Staples. Clippers beat the Lakers on opening night.
Yep.
You got 2 banners. Clippers beat the Lakers on Christmas.
It was a big game.
Oh, yeah. And now what? We about to hang another banner.
You're
off
about
a
to have
real
your
banner.
4th ring.
A real
With
banner.
an asterisk, it'll say COVID championship.
No, and then we're going to say nothing.
And LeBron even gets a little break ahead of the Heat. He'll get 4 or 5 days off. This is perfect. Meant to be. Congratulations.
Made it be.
Can you believe it that the Miami Heat are probably going to be in the finals against LeBron? The Miami
I told you, Skip. Remember when you talk about it detonated? He did it. We had earthquakes all that week.
Yep.
All that week.
July 5th.
But the biggest earthquake, it detonated. And I remember coming out here and talking to you that Monday.
Yep.
I said, Skip, sometimes a man can make his destiny on the very road he took to avoid it. Oh, I don't want to join Bron. I want to beat Bron.
What he said.
That's what he said.
Yep.
Okay, how about beat the Nuggets so you can get a chance to beat Bron? You got to beat the man before you can get to the man to try to beat the man.
What did I tell you about rock, paper, scissors? What did I tell you? The Clippers were the rock that would have smashed your scissors.
We fire.
But the Nuggets were the paper that covered my rock.
We light dynamite, we burn up paper, and then, you know, rock, you burn it, you put enough heat to it.
Yeah, right. You are so lucky. You dodged all the bullets.
No, we didn't.
Yep. There's not even any KD. What a deal.
KD on the other side now.
Stars aligned for the Lakers and LeBron.
I would say.
Well, we'll go that way. The stars aligned. I love hearing it from both of you guys. Lakers and 5.
No mercy.
Sunday, we've got a huge doubleheader on Fox. First, the Bears take on the Falcons, or other regional action. Then Dak and Zeke lead the Cowboys against Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. In America's Game of the Week, check local listings for the games in your area or watch it on the Fox Sports app. Now, Dak Prescott is coming off a monster game where he passed for 450 yards to go along with 4 total touchdowns. But he will have plenty on his plate as he goes head-to-head with Russell Wilson. Russ threw for nearly 300 yards and added 5 touchdowns in the Seahawks win against the Patriots last week. We are joined now by Fox Sports NFL analyst Michael Vick. Michael, who wins this game and what is the score?
I think Dallas wins 20-17. I give them the 3-point edge. I think they find a way to win. It was a signature win last week, and what a win like that will do for you, especially as a quarterback for Dak Prescott, it gives you all the confidence in the world. In 2010, we had the miracle in the Meadowlands, the come from behind win over the Giants. You couldn't tell me that we wasn't going to win the next 3 or 4 games that we had on the schedule, regardless of who it was. And when you have a signature win like that, a big win, like it does everything for the morale of the team. It does everything for your confidence. And, you know, they don't have to worry about the 12th man. You don't have to worry about crowd noise. And I think that was a win that galvanized this team, and now they realize what they can do regardless of any circumstance that they've been put in. It was the worst of the worst last week, and they overcame it, and they came through it. And while I do think Russell Wilson is at the top of his game, you know, I still think the Seattle Seahawks end up 13-3, 12-4 this season. But I think they're going to have to chalk this one up because Dallas is riding high. And I can't do anything but root for Dak Prescott right now. He bet on himself. He believed in himself. And Mike McCarthy said that they wanted to come out, score fast, early and often. And that's telling me that he's seeing something that he can come out and exploit against the Seattle Seahawks. So that got me excited, and that got me pulling for Dak and the Dallas Cowboys.
Before you go, I got to ask my man Michael Vick one question. I love your prediction. I just can't see my Cowboy defense holding Russell Wilson to 17 points in Seattle, albeit with no fans. You got to explain to me, Michael, how can my defense hang in and hang on?
You got second and third team players on the sideline, and what this is an opportunity for them to step up. Everybody's getting paid. Everybody's a professional, and just because your stars are out of the game don't mean that you can't win. That don't mean that you can't step up. I've been on plenty of teams where guys come off the bench and step in the moment of truth, and that's what it's all about. That's what the NFL is all about. So you can't expect to go into a season with the same roster that you started the season out with. At the end of the season, that roster is going to look different. It's musical chairs all over the place, and that's due to injury. So guys got to step up. This is the time for them to step up. And when you watch how Dak orchestrated the offense and led to come from behind win, you know that anything is possible. So it's no excuses.
You know what, Mike? That would sound good if the defense and the starters were playing extremely well. But you got backups playing backups, and the people that they're replacing were bad. So if your backups are replacing the people that were bad and they couldn't get on the field to begin with, and the only reason they're on the field for injury, I like Russell Wilson to put up more than 17 points. I went the opposite way than you did, and I went a lot higher. And Skip even went higher than I did. I went 34-30 Seattle because I believe because Seattle's licking their chops. They say, well, man, look what Calvin Ridley did. Look what Justin Gage did. And we got Russell Wilson. We got DK Metcalf. We got Lockett. We got more. We feel we have comparable receivers because Julio was injured. So they didn't even get the full complement of Julio last week, the Cowboys didn't, because of Julio's injury. I like what Russ is playing out of his mind. Russ has always been good, and it's beyond me that Russ has never received an MVP vote, Skip. The guy that's gone to 2 Super Bowls, early on, it was a beast mode, Legion of Boom team. But the last 3-4 years, it has not been a beast mode and a Legion of Boom team. It's been a Russell Wilson, go out there, hey, Russ, make it happen. What's the play? I don't know, just make it happen. And he's pirouetting and he's running from sideline to sideline and throwing touchdowns. I believe he has that type of game. I believe he pulls it out late because, hey, no lead is safe with this kid either. I believe he pulls it out late. I'm going to go 34-30. Seattle wins a close one.
So, Michael Vick, you echoed some sentiments expressed by my friend Michael Irvin that Shannon and I discussed earlier in the show. And the quotes were, Michael got pretty keyed up and fired up about the miracle he witnessed versus Atlanta this past Sunday. And he said, when you have a game like this, the aroma stays in your nostrils all year long. It can propel you to greater things. Well, you just discussed the miracle in the Meadowlands, which was, help me out, when did Deshaun return the punt for a touchdown?
Yeah, the punt return.
Whew. And it was miraculous. And then you guys go on a tear after that. Well, this is a tall order here. It's Russell at Seattle. There's not going to be any fans, so you don't have the 12th man to have to deal with. But I'm with you in the sentiment of this is going to propel you into this game. My quarterback Sunday put on a passing clinic. He can't be much better than that. 450 yards. He didn't miss a throw all day. Shannon makes the point, and it's a valid one. Atlanta's laying back a little bit. You're up 29-10 at half. You're not pressing anymore. You're kind of trying to prevent things from happening. It's what's your phrase? Nothing cheap, nothing deep.
Yep.
Okay, I got it. But he just kept on keeping on. He was deadly accurate. He threw no interceptions, which usually in desperation you do. And all of a sudden you look up and he got the impossible break at the end and he closed the deal. I believe he can outgun Russell at Russell, and he's going to have to. I'm going high score. In fact, I'm going to duplicate the score of the miracle against Atlanta. I'm going 40-39 Cowboys just because it has the ring of truth to me.
I like that, 40-39. And look, you know, the last time I looked at the Seattle Seahawks roster, I didn't see the Legion of Boom back there. So they can't get passed on. And, you know, I know Dak is feeling real good about, you know, what he did last week. And as a quarterback, when you complete that many passes and you have a come-from-behind win, you feel like it's no pass that you can't complete. Yep. It's nothing that you can't do. It's the Superman mentality, and it's real. It exists. It exists deep down. As long as you believe that in your heart, anything is possible. Like I said, Russ is going to get his, but the Legion of Boom is not out there. So everything has to go right on both sides. I just think Dallas is going to ride them around, and they're going to go in, and they will knock the Seattle Seahawks off this week. I just got to say.
Well, this was before your time, but Skip will remember this. And the Cowboys don't have the doomsday defense either.
Well, do they not? My God. I mean, there's no Bob Lilly in there, right? There's no Randy White.
Right.
I'm looking for some
Harvey
guys
Martin.
Harvey Martin, look, too
I
tall.
want to see some guys step up and make a name for themselves. Right now, this is the moment. This is why you play the game. I mean, those guys got to wake up. You know, this Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, like, I got an opportunity to go out and do something special. Let me make a contribution.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Superman, all I know is that the Superman up in New England went to Seattle last Sunday night and almost threw for 400.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, he was Superman.
He was Superman. Well, my quarterback can play Superman, too.
Well, Mike, those guys you're talking about, they're going to step up. They're going to be on Russ's highlight tape. Because, you know, he's doing a compilation to put it, package it together, to send out to all the voters so he can get some MVP votes, and they're going to be on it.
I tell you what, I can't wait to watch.
You're going to give me the 5?
No.
Why not?
No, straight up.
Straight. I got 5. It's this Fox bet. It's 5. Dallas plus 5.
I got 34-30.
Okay.
Okay, I give you 3.
3.
I give you 3 points.
I want the spread.
No.
Hold
on. Skip, the aroma is still in your nose from last week. Remember?
Yeah, and it stinks.
You just spent 5 minutes telling me about your quarterback and how he played, threw for 453 rushing. You know, Skip, that was the first time in the history somebody's threw for that many yards that had 3 rushing touchdowns.
I got it.
So,
if my quarterback could play safety, you'd
straight
have
up.
me on that. No.
Well, that's why they got Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams, now he's come in to try to be part of the Legion of Boom with B. Wags and KJ Wright. So we're going to see.
I'm telling you, no fans in the stands. It evens the playing field on both sides.
It does.
Dallas got a shot.
It don't matter. If I'm better than you, I can fight you in your backyard, my backyard, or in the street. If I'm better, I'm better.
And Mike McCarthy said they wanted to score fast and they wanted to score often. I'm taking that with a grain of salt. I believe something is going on. I believe it's something that they've seen that they can exploit on that Seattle defense. And Mike McCarthy, he's not a bad play caller. You know, he understands how to put quarterbacks in a position, put a team in a position, offense in a position to score points. So
did you see those calls, Mike? Did you see those calls that he was making going for it on 4th down? And you remember the last time they were in the championship game in Seattle, they did have a 14-point lead. Mike McCarthy was calling no plays, right? Was he calling those plays up there in Seattle when they went to Seattle last time? Okay.
It was. That was a different day and time.
Okay, my bad.
So
2020.
he owes, you know, like he's
No,
revenge.
Yeah, he need to call more plays like that.
No mercy.
Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski teamed up to make an interesting video dubbed Tommy and Gronky, put out by the Buccaneers social media account. The 4-minute video provided plenty of cringeworthy moments. Check it out.
All right. How many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh? How many? Come on, one guess at least. I don't know. Tentacles. What did the pirate say on his 80th birthday? Hey, matey. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
Why couldn't the pony sing?
Oh. Because he was a little hoarse.
He got it. He got it.
Shannon, this is so weird that I kind of love it. What is going on here?
Skip, what I just watched?
I don't know.
Was it supposed to be like improv, sketch comedy? I mean, Skip, what is this? Skip, this is ridiculous. You know, you can't. You know what? As much as you love Tom Brady, I don't even believe you're going to be able to come to his defense on this one. Skip, Gronk is funny, unscripted. Tom is really never funny. That's not his personality. Peyton Manning, funny.
I give you that.
Gronk is funny when he's just doing Gronk things, but don't give him a cue card says, okay, Gronk, do this. No, he just got to be impromptu. Skip, what was this? This is ridiculous, Skip. And for the Bucs to put this out on their official Twitter account, I'm baffled. I'm confused. It's not funny. There was the Gronk's laughing. Skip, this is ridiculous. I don't. You know what? As much as you can't even defend, I already know, Skip. I've been around you for four years and 19 days.
Yep.
And you won't even be able to defend this one.
I cannot. I'm having a hard time deciphering it because I don't know what the point was.
I don't either, Skip.
It is just bad. Sometimes there's good bad.
Right.
This is bad.
Bad.
This was embarrassing for both.
It should be beneath Tom.
This was shockingly corny, nerdy,
yes,
lame,
yes,
silly,
yes.
And I'm not talking about silly funny. I'm talking about just silly goofy.
Yes.
Silly goofy.
Amen.
Where you just say, what are you guys doing? Okay, so help me out here.
Okay.
Let's step back. We just watched the two GOATs at their position in professional football do that and willingly post it on social media.
Right.
We want the world to see this.
Right.
Tom Brady, to me, is the greatest quarterback ever. You might still argue with that, but most people believe he's the GOAT of quarterbacks.
Yes.
You have already declared on this show way back in 2016, Rob Gronkowski has become the GOAT of your position. You are in the Hall of Fame at that position, and you declare this man is the GOAT. So you had GOAT quarterbacks sitting across from a GOAT tight end, engaging in what? I don't know what the point was.
I don't either.
Except to send the message, we're just two regular guys who can act silly off the field. I've told you about Brady. The reason I think he drives you crazy is he is playing, obviously, a violent sport. You would be the first to say that.
Absolutely.
And you got to be a man to play this game.
Oh, yeah.
You got to be a tough guy. You got to have a screw loose where you have little to no regard for your body because you are going to take punishment and it is going to hurt. And you are going to get hurt.
Yeah, and it's probably going to be a long
That's what I'm saying. It's going to last maybe your whole life. You're one of the luckier ones.
Yes.
But you got your issues.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so, and Gronk is going to have his issues going forward. He already does.
Yes.
In fact, it's starting to look like he may be shot now. I don't know. But the point is, these are two guys who play your game, who are willing to put that out in public to say, look what we're capable of doing.
Right.
What's the point of it?
Right.
I don't know. But I always warn you about Tom Brady. He's a split personality. And I think even you will buy into this.
Yes.
When it is game time, especially when the game is on the line, what do I call him? Psycho Tom.
Right.
And it comes out because he goes into like some weird rage.
Right.
Where you're not getting a little horse. You're getting profanity. He's all over his teammates, his receivers, his offensive line, his offensive coordinator, his play caller. He's all over everybody because he is demanding perfection.
Yes.
And when he throws a touchdown pass, he is prone to running to the end zone and headbutting the receiver, as he used to do with Gronkowski. Help me out. Did anybody ever accuse Rob Gronkowski of playing soft?
No.
No. I mean, couldn't you even go beast mode with Gronk?
Yeah.
I mean, there were days when you just couldn't get him down.
Yeah, he's physical, he's tough, he's hard-nosed, he blocks, he does it all.
Let's get back.
I'm just trying to figure out what was the purpose of this? What was the meaning behind it?
They're obviously trying to enhance their brands. But does that enhance the brand? Does that appeal to fringe fans who say, you know, these guys are actually fun?
No.
Was that fun to you?
No.
It wasn't to me.
No, I don't know. Has Tom Brady ever done Saturday Night Live?
I think he has. Am I wrong? Maybe I got Peyton in my head. Yes, he has.
And Skip, maybe that's unfair. Because when we look at what Peyton did and how funny his Saturday Night Live skit was.
Well, he's all time.
Right. Yeah. And then we're trying to look at Tom. Okay. But when I look at Tom, I don't look at him. Peyton is... Skip, you remember when they had the little golf tournament and he's taking his shots at Tom, about Coach Belichick. I thought about getting Coach Belichick as my caddy. But I said, you know what? Even that would be too much for Tom. You know what I'm saying? Things like that.
It was funny.
Yes, that is him.
It was witty funny.
Right.
It was clever.
If you're around Peyton, he does things, he says things, and you can say, you know what? I can see that side of him. When I look at Tom...
And real quick on the golf, Tom couldn't hold up his end of the bargain. He couldn't come back.
Right.
Until he finally got so insulted by Charles Barkley, he went psycho, Tom.
Right.
And he holds out a wedge from 125 yards and says, suck on that, Charles. And it was serious.
Yes.
It wasn't funny.
Right.
Okay, that's that guy.
That's him. But I don't look at him as just being off the cuff funny. I don't look at him as Skip as being able to, to come into a room and just make people laugh. I don't look at Tom. Maybe he has that skill around people that he's comfortable with. Maybe he gets around his family or he gets around his boys and he can make them laugh. He gets a few drinks in him.
And I think he's got to go, as they say, blue. Like when he starts to get profane,
right.
And I think it can be funnier with the boys.
Right.
Okay.
But this right here, Skip, I'm looking at it. I'm like, well, maybe I missed. Okay, Shannon.
No, you didn't miss anything.
I rewind it back. And I'm like, that's like 8 minutes of my life I'm never going to be able to get back. At one point in time, I'm going to be on my deathbed. I'm like, 8 minutes I could have had back, but I watched the video. Skip, that was ridiculous, Skip.
Okay.
They should take it down.
This is why I think you have some Brady hate in you, because you can't stand it that the greatest quarterback ever would dare to act like that in public.
Right. Yes.
Because it's not becoming of a football player.
No.
He's playing a position that's almost above football because, as you say, the rules are rigged to protect you, right? And if you get the ball, if it's gone in 1.2 seconds, it's hard to hit you, right? Okay.
But, Skip, even the biggest Brady fan, which you are, you found this hard to watch.
I did, because I kept waiting for something funny or clever or a point to it, and it just ended as flat as it fell on its face.
But yes, it was.
It's the one where whoever is directing or overseeing would say, guys, maybe we should try another approach.
Yeah. You know what? How about just scrap this whole thing?
Yeah.
Skip.
This didn't work.
Skip. Tom Brady, look, there are certain actors, you do what you do, and you stay in your genre. And you don't try to, there's some guys like Tom Hanks has range.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Nicholson had range. Certain guys have range. They can do serious, they can do comedic, they can do drama, they can do all that. Mm-hmm. Skip, Tom Brady, that's not his range, that's not his lane. Mm-hmm. So pick your lane and just stay there. Make the most of it. Jim Carrey has made a fortune, Skip, being funny. That's what he does. He's not trying to be a detective.
Nope.
He's not trying to be, something. Just pick your lane and just stay there.
Yep. Chris Rock is funny, and now he's going to do Fargo, which I love.
Right.
But it'll be black comedy, so to speak, not. But it'll just be crazy comedy. Mm-hmm. But it will still be funny. With like almost R-rated funny. Yeah.
Yeah, this is right here. Yeah, Tom, you might need to. I don't know if your acting career going to get off to the start that you're thinking.
I don't think there's any future there.
Well, I'm with you guys. That Tommy and Gronky was weird, strange, and uncomfortable, but I'm kind of excited for episode 2.
Alex, I don't know about you, Alex. Episode 2? Hold on, there's going to be another episode?
There's going to be another one.
No mercy.
From the incredible WWE Thunderdome, will the family ties between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso finally break before Clash of Champions? It's all new Friday Night SmackDown live at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox. The Raiders are 2-0 heading into New England to take on Cam and the Patriots. John Gruden nicknamed Cam Slam Newton ahead of the game and also said he is more like a power forward playing quarterback. Though through 2 games, Cam does already have 4 rushing touchdowns. So Shannon, who wins this one?
I think it's going to be a close ball game. The Patriots have played well. I think by most people's estimations, the Patriots have looked better than what people thought they would look.
Agreed.
I don't know if people thought they would be. I think they thought they would beat Miami. It'd be a toss-up, not play as well, not look as good as they did against Seattle. But I thought Cam has run the ball well. I thought he's thrown the ball well. I'm surprised by their defense and how poorly their defense has played, especially last week. But let's not take anything for Russ. Russ has been playing out of his mind the first 2 weeks of the season. I think as long as Cam stays healthy, this bodes well for New England moving forward. He's getting a lot out of the wide receiver position, although, Skip, we don't look at the Patriots group and say, man, that's one of the more talented groups.
No.
But Cam has cashed it in. Julian Edelman has played well. Damiere Byrd has come in and played well. N'Keal Harry has played well. Obviously James White's going to do what he does in the passing game. Burkhead's running the ball. The Patriots are going to have to play better on defense, though, because the Raiders are better than I thought. I don't know what anybody else thought, but the Raiders are better than what we thought. Josh Jacobs can run the football. Jalen Richard, the tight end, I forget his name. Darren Waller. He's a handful, Skip.
He is.
He's to be dealt with.
Yep.
They got decent, Hunter Renfrow, they got decent receivers on the outside.
Yep.
Their offensive line is really, really good. I'm going to say it's going to be a close ball game. I'm going to say Cam wins this ball game 27-24. But they got to be careful. They got to be on high alert.
Yep, I agree. Here's why they should win this game, and I believe they will. The Raiders are coming off a big game, but it was Monday night at home. You have to travel virtually cross-country, short week. As you remember, this is hard.
Yeah, and they play in the early game. They play in the early window, so it's 10 o'clock
early window. What does Bill Belichick notoriously or famously do best? He takes away your best weapon.
Yep.
So I'm fascinated to see what Darren Waller can do against Belichick's defense. It was leaky at Seattle.
Right.
But listen, New Orleans tried everything.
Right.
Brackets, double, triple.
Right.
They were like all over Darren Waller, and he just kept running away from whatever coverage.
Right.
They
and it's kind of hard to put Gilmore on him, Skip, when you go in a base formation. So how do you get, I mean, because the one thing I like about Gilmore, he will travel. He has frequent flyer miles, and he's willing to get on and travel anywhere, left, right, slot, it doesn't matter.
By the way, Darren Waller really travels because they move him like crazy.
Yes, yes. They're trying to find the perfect matchup. Oh, okay, so it's man, okay. We got a corner, we got a safety, we got a linebacker. Oh, you playing zone, okay, we like this. Yeah, they do a great job.
He goes in motion like crazy.
Yes.
And he's flying across the formation and then flying upfield.
Yeah.
And it's hard to corral that. It's hard to continue to double that because he will outrun your double.
Right.
Okay. So I'm fascinated to see if they could hold him under. He caught 12 balls for 105 yards against New Orleans.
Right.
And they're pretty good on defense. Their secondary is very good, and they're well coached. And I was shocked by how he had his way. 16 targets, 12 catches, 1 touchdown. Okay, so if they take him somewhat away, if they can hold him to 5 or 6 catches for 50, 60 yards, well, then it comes down to those 2 kids that they drafted, Ruggs and Brian Edwards, and they both look really good to me.
They really did.
both have... They have athletic sort of explosiveness. Both of them. He can fly. And that Brian Edwards, I thought they stole him because he looks like an athlete to me.
Yes.
So they're going to have to rise and shine. Josh Jacobs is going to have another big day. I just feel like Belichick, especially on their short week, will be able to hold them down to a low roar. And I just think it's going to be even lower scoring than you think.
Okay.
I got 22-20 Patriots. I think the Patriots look down their schedule. I think Cam does, and he knows they're 1-1. And again, they had a moral victory at Seattle. Felt like they won the game.
Okay.
They should have won the game. They were in position to win it, but they didn't. They had better win this game because now it turns wintertime in the schedule because it gets rough after this. Remember, they have to go to Kansas City the next week.
Wow.
They get 1 gimme again back home out of this same division. They get Denver. Your Broncos, and they're just beat all day.
We hurt right now.
And then guess what happens? It goes San Francisco at Buffalo. Don't sleep on the Bills. Then at Jets, which is never easy for them. Then they got Baltimore at Texans, Arizona, which is getting hotter by the throw. Then both the LA teams back-to-back on the road, Chargers and Rams, no gimmies.
Right.
And then at Miami, you saw what Miami did, albeit just to Jacksonville, but Fitzmagic still got a little magic left.
Right? He running all over the place. San Francisco's ailing too. They got a lot of injuries going on. So but you're right. This is a game they need to win. But here the question is, Skip, as well as Derek Carr has played the first 2 weeks, can he continue this? Because we've seen him play well for stretches, and then he reverts back and is like, see, this is why Coach Gruden doesn't have any confidence in him, because the consistency that he needs to see in order for you to get to that next level doesn't seem to be there enough for Coach Gruden liking. So it's going to be very interesting because he's played well. He went on the road to Carolina. He played well. He played well at home against New Orleans. Can he go on the road again in an early window and play well? Coach Belichick, normally with the tight end, he likes to bang the tight end. Before the guy rush, he will get a shove on him, especially if he's close to the line. Now, if he's split out in the slot, good luck. Or he's split out wide, good luck with that, or they put him in motion.
I don't think Darren Waller's a tight end. They call him a tight end, but remember, he played wide out at Georgia Tech.
Well, what we call, maybe he's an H-back. Yep. They call him defensive, call him Fs, call him flyers, because he's more going to be on the move. He's more of a pass catcher than a blocker. But Skip, he's phenomenal. Coach Belichick has his hands full. But if anybody can find a way to neutralize what you do well or your best player, it's Coach Belichick.
I agree with that. There's this team over in Buffalo that I told you was my dark horse Super Bowl pick. And they have a home game Sunday against another unbeaten team, the Rams. But Buffalo has a shot to get to 3-0.
Right.
Well, you can't falter here.
No.
That's why I look at, if you're going to have the year you think New England's going to have, you have to win this Raider game.
Right.
It's like a springboard game into your schedule.
But, you know, of all those games, there are a lot of games that you mentioned, Skip. There are going to be some teams in there that you're going to like, I did not expect New England to beat. New England's going to surprise some people because I believe they'll get better. Cam will get better. They will get better. They're going to have to show up the defense. That's what's surprising to me, Skip. I thought they did a good job against Miami. Miami is better than we thought because we saw the number they did in week 2, and then we saw what they did last week. So for me, Skip, I think they're going to be. I think the Patriots are going to be okay. I think they're going to be okay.
I think they're going to be 8-8. And I think they're going to lose to the Buffalo Bills.
I think I'm going to win my cases of due off of you because they're going to have a better record. And I get ties, too. So if they have the same record, I win that, too.
We have 5 cases of Diet Dew bet on Tampa Bay having a better record than Belichick.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I really like my chances.
I like my chances, but I just want you to know I get ties. So if they end with the same record, I get ties. If both teams ties and win, come on, Skip, I got to get really? I mean, I'm taking it. You told me Julian Edelman was a beat-up shell of himself. Little old Demir Bird. They got little Demir Bird. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you're like, Coach Belichick has lost his fastball. So at least give me that.
So you want a tie because you're the only guy on this show who wears a tie? Is that right?
This is my little tie.
Yeah, well, it's okay.
There you go.
It's a little conservative, but it's okay. It's all right.
I mean, it's okay. You know, Goats was conservative today.
No mercy. Now, the Eagles have yet to win this season, but may have their first chances Sunday. Philly hosts #1 overall pick Joe Burrow and the Bengals, who have also not won a game this season. So, Shannon, do the Eagles finally win one this weekend?
Before you go, allow me to wish an early happy birthday to our man, Lil Wayne. His birthday is Sunday.
Okay.
And, Wayne, we appreciate you. You got yours on.
I got mine on also, yep.
Yeah. And you are the one who deserves to have the goat mask worn for you.
Yeah. Okay, Wayne. Happy birthday, but you root for the Lakers. He does not, so I'll hit you up on Sunday. Skip, I believe, look, walking to him, this is now or never.
This is it.
This is it. This is your last stand right here.
I agree.
You got to get this one because if you don't beat a rookie quarterback, now he's not just any rookie quarterback. He's played really well. I think he had the most completions in a game for a rookie at 37. The Bengals don't get pressure on the quarterback, which bodes very well for Wentz because it seems like he turns it over when the pressure mounts up. So Fletcher Cox missed. I'm gonna take the Eagles, Skip. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a close game. I'm gonna say the Eagles win this one 24-20.
You had better win this one.
We better win. They better win this one. 0-3, it's over.
Joe Burrow is the realest deal. I love the way he played in his opener at home against the Chargers. He almost pulled that one out.
Yep.
And he just kept on keeping on against Baker Mayfield in Cleveland at Cleveland and put on a show. He converted 5 fourth downs in that game. I think he will give your Eagles all they want on Sunday.
Skip, this game right here is what Philly faced when they went to Green Bay last year. Remember, they had just lost to Detroit.
Yep.
And they were about to they could go 1-2, or they were going to be 2-1, or the Cowboys. And the next thing you know, I think they were 3-0. The Cowboys went 3-0. They went 2-1.
And what happened? Your man Aaron Rodgers let me down again.
This is not about Aaron.
He missed a wide open receiver. He didn't even see it. And threw it into the middle of the field to Valdez-Scantling and got popped up in the air and intercepted.
This is about walking to him and how he needs to be the leader that they selected him to be and to bring his team home. He needs to deliver this victory.
I agree. I'm going to also pick bounce it to him, Wentz. I say your team barely survives. I say it comes down to the wire, 24-21. You barely hang in and hang on. Dallas will be 2-1 in the division lead, and you will be 1-2.
We'll be tied. And that's something. We'll be tied. Everybody be 1-2, and everybody be happy. Everybody gonna be happy at 1-2.
Dallas wins at Seattle. Philly survives.
Can I get some do on that then?
Which one? I'll take 6. Seattle and 6.
I give you 3.
This is going to be a fun weekend. That's all we have for you guys today. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Have a great weekend. We'll be back Monday at 9:30 Eastern.